All right. Well, we got it figured out. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Do Guy, coming at y'all with another episode of Dropping Dimes with Mr. Do Guy. And today I'm going to talk about the NFL has a new proposal as the owners agreed to a new way of handling the playoff situation in the AFC. Before I get into this video, for everyone, if you want to give me a follow on my social media platforms, I'm gonna have all that information down in the description box. May not always get a chance to respond to questions and comments on these videos, so feel free to DM me. Whenever I get a chance to, I'll get back at you. Come holler at your boy. Also, if you a Madden play on Xbox One, I'm gonna have my Xbox One gamer tag down in the description box also. First and foremost, man, the thing that I'm extremely happy about this situation. Prayers to Damar Hamlin, man. Looked like they say he communicated with his team. I think the breathing thing, he's starting to not need that now. Looks like Lord willing, man, he gonna pull through, yo. And that's the number one thing we should all be happy about, should be thankful about. Shout out to him, one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life, not just watching football. And I cried that night because I'm like, I just didn't want the man to go out like that, yo. But look like he's getting better. Now, granted, he's not where we all want him to be, obviously, and that's back living a normal, healthy life. Even if he can't play football again, but to at least live a normal, healthy life, to be able to go on to normalcy. And he's far from that, but at least now it looks like we know he's going to pull through, man. And shout out for that, prayers for that, man. So thankful and happy about that. Which now we get to the secondary part of everything is, the NFL has decided that what's going to happen is the Cincinnati and Buffalo game will not be replayed. It's going to be a no contest, so both teams stay with the records they had, going into Week 18. For Buffalo, now with Buffalo and Cincinnati, now Kansas City, if they win against the Raiders tomorrow, they're the number one seed. Buffalo is in line to be the number 2 seed. Cincinnati is in line to be the number 3 seed. Cincinnati clinched the AFC North by the no contest over the Ravens. But if they play the Ravens Sunday, if the Ravens beat Cincinnati on Sunday, Cincinnati will still be the AFC North champ. But if those teams do line up and match up against which is very possible, match up against each other in the AFC wild card, then it will be a coin flip. Will decide who will have home field advantage because to be fair to Baltimore, if Cincinnati would have lost to Buffalo and then Baltimore beat them, Baltimore would have been the home team anyway. So they're gonna do it that way. Then the biggest thing to me is if Cincinnati and Buffalo, if either one of them make it to the AFC Championship game against, let's say hypothetically Kansas City wins, and if Buffalo or Cincinnati plays against Kansas City in the AFC title game, that game will not be at Arrowhead. That game will be at a neutral site venue. Only thing I'm gonna say to this, I like the idea. I'm gonna tell you what I like and what I kind of think is a little unfair. I like the fact that they just made the game a no contest. I like that. I mean, don't try to force that game in. Let's keep everything on schedule. I like the fact that if Baltimore beats Cincinnati and they play each other in the playoff, that a coin flip decides who has home field advantage. I think that's fair. And I think what's fair is if Buffalo or Cincinnati goes on the road to play Kansas City in the AFC title game, that'll be at a neutral site instead of, instead of in Arrowhead. I think all of that is fair. The one thing I do think is a little messed up, and I think it hurts Cincinnati more than anybody, is that if Cincinnati finishes as the third, if Kansas City, Buffalo, and Cincinnati all win Sunday, which they're all expected to win, Cincinnati got to play Buffalo in the divisional round. I think that game should be a neutral site also, because if Cincinnati would have beaten Buffalo Monday night at home, Cincinnati would have jumped Buffalo, I want to say, in the standings, because Cincinnati would then have, I want to believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I want to believe Cincinnati would have the tiebreaker, because Cincinnati would have then beaten both Buffalo and Kansas City, though I think they still would be a game behind Kansas City. But what I'm saying is, if Kansas City would have got the 1 seed and Cincinnati would have beat Buffalo and both teams would have finished with the same record, Cincinnati would have been the 2 seed and Buffalo would have been the 3 seed. So Buffalo would have had to travel to Cincinnati for a divisional round matchup. But the fact that, we just talking football terms here. We know, like I said, I don't have a problem with the game being stopped. That was the exact right thing to do in that circumstance. But just from a football mindset, that's kind of unfair to Cincinnati, because look, make that game neutral as well. Like, make Cincinnati a divisional round matchup a neutral site also. That's the only thing I disagree with. I'm cool with the no contest. I'm cool with the coin flip if Baltimore beats Cincinnati. I'm cool with Kansas City even getting home field if they win. And that AFC championship being neutral site. Like, don't punish Cincinnati in this case. Like, let them play Buffalo in the neutral site. Why do they got to go to Orchard Park and play Buffalo, when the game stopped? And I know it was the first quarter, but Cincinnati had the lead and looked like it was about to score again. So I think that's unfair to Cincinnati. I think the divisional round matchup, if it's Cincinnati and Buffalo, should have been played at a neutral site instead of at Orchard Park if chalk happens, if all the favorites win. That's my only big issue with that. I feel like Cincinnati got kind of screwed over in this whole ordeal. But I mean, it is what it is. The owners voted on it. I mean, I understand in a circumstance like this, you're not gonna make everybody happy. Somebody's gonna be disappointed, But I just think that'd have been the right thing to do. Look, if Cincinnati and Buffalo play, even if it was flipped, if they play each other, let that game be neutral. Let that game be at a neutral site. Don't let Buffalo travel to Cincinnati. Don't let Cincinnati travel to Buffalo. Let that matchup be at a neutral site. And I think what's going to happen is Cincinnati going to have to travel to Buffalo and have to win on the road in a very tough environment at that time of year. And I think that's unfair to them. But with that being said, that's all I got for y'all today. Appreciate y'all checking out the video. Hit the like button for your boy. Give me a subscribe. I have Philadelphia Eagles, NFL, and content on my other teams throughout the year. Y'all have a blessed one. Fly, Eagles, fly.